Welcome to the Gleeful Meeple, a board game community that's your community too, no matter where you are. And for this week's episode, we are in Indianapolis at Gen Con. As you can tell, I am not James doing the normal intro. This year for our Gen Con episode, we thought it would be cool to bring the Gleeples along with us. Wednesday, or day zero as I like to call it, was all about getting into Indianapolis and getting settled for the actual convention. JK got to carpool with me this year for his first con, so it was extra exciting getting to see his eyes light up when we walked into the convention center for the first time. Of course, the exhibit hall wasn't open, but the convention center was filled with energy from people in the will call line, merch lines, and just the many other people walking around. Much like a night before Christmas kind of excitement. For our first clip, I got to catch up with JK before our seminar on Thursday. He ended up leaving the Airbnb before me, so I wanted to see how his first day was going. So you survived day zero, you got all of your purchases, and it's not even 11 a.m. on Thursday. How are you feeling?
I feel great. We came in, we got to see the running of the nerds, the crowd clustered in front of the doors. That was impressive, a little daunting. We got to spend a little time this morning at the IV Studios room where I got their gift bag as well as 3 of their smaller games. Headed straight for the retail floor and went after all of my hot button items that I wanted to get. So that chapter of Gen Con has closed. Now everything else that I pick up is just gravy on top. Excited to have some new games in my collection.
So on one of our episodes, you said you were only getting 5 games. What happened to that?
Yeah, I have an amazing wife, and I had kind of put together a plan and a budget for this, but because this is my first Gen Con, and essentially she referred to this as going to my Disneyland, she took all the guardrails off and said, have fun, don't go nuts, but buy what you want to buy.
Friday ended up being super busy, and by Saturday morning, our crew had been all over the con. I felt like I had barely even seen some of my friends. Dwayne had a late flight on Wednesday, so we didn't even see him before we went to bed. This year's con felt extra special getting to reconnect with friends that had moved away over the past year. Here's a clip from Saturday morning of the convention while we waited for a ride share.
Not working?
Yeah. Okay, Ryan. So what's today? Today's Saturday.
It's Saturday.
Excuse me. Today is Saturday. We're waiting for our Uber. How's your Gen Con going? What are you feeling?
I am feeling very fortunate to be hanging out with my friends, getting to enjoy cool games and partying it up. It's been awesome.
How has it been flying from Boston? Dwayne was the one that flew from Washington, so he's the one who's probably 3 hours time difference?
Yes.
Yeah. Has the Boston versus Nashville affected you at all?
Well, seeing that we're in the same time zone right now, nothing has impacted me right now. 9 a.m. here is 9 a.m. back in Boston.
All right, pro tip, live in Eastern time zone. All right, Dwayne, how has the time zone affected you?
It's fine, Susan. Thanks for asking.
Okay.
Back to you.
Dwayne, do you feel like you've recovered from day one? You were kind of like a zombie on day one.
Well, here's the issue. My flight was supposed to get in around just a little after midnight. I ended up landing at 3 a.m. and got to the Airbnb just before 4 a.m. And then I didn't quite know where I was supposed to sleep, so I just put my head down on the table for a few minutes to get centered, and then I went to everybody's room and shined my phone flashlight on them, and no one woke up because I'd imagine that would have been pretty scary for them. And then I found JK, and I got in bed with him because I thought that was the plan. And then I slept for maybe an hour. So yes, day one was rough, but rallied for day two. Here we are, day three. Lots of things to look forward to still.
get up for day 3. JK, was this 4 a.m. arrival affected you in any way?
No, I slept through it fine. I am a nice sound sleeper, but I woke up about an hour later, just as at my normal time. So I felt bad for him because I was already, stirring at that point. But I was exhausted by the end of day 2. I have gotten a good day of rest. I've accomplished everything I wanted to do for Gen Con. Just looking for a relaxing, chill day today.
Why did you get everything done in the first 2 days?
Because I am obsessive and frantic and want to make sure that everything gets done that needs to get done.
I feel like that has been kind of like a theme of our group. Our group really did have a to-do list this year. And so I feel like everyone just kind of like split directions the first couple days. It was like, I got to do this.
Well, another thing was the hot games were selling out rapidly. Yeah. So it was a matter of, if you really want this, you have to make an effort to get out and get it. There's probably 2 or 3 games that I was interested in that are just gone. So they're not on my list anymore. I get to go just kind of window shop today.
Nice. That sounds fun.
Okay, bye.
By Saturday afternoon, our crew had finally started to slow down. With some purchases made, demos played, thousands of steps walked, buses ridden, ride shares called, we decided to grab a table on the floor of Lucas Oil and hang out. JK is probably our most people person on the podcast, so I asked him about who he had gotten to meet this weekend.
So one of the fun things about being here this week has been kind of interacting with all of the YouTube personalities, the game industry people that I follow and watch. It's been kind of a geek out moment for me, which is unusual because I used to work in the music business. I live in Nashville. I see famous people on a relatively regular basis, and that doesn't bother me. But I see somebody from a YouTube channel, and I lose myself. So I did get to talk with...
Can confirm.
Yes. So I did get to talk with several people from the Dice Tower. I got to meet Sam and Mike. Got a picture with Joey and Camilla. We did run into guest of the show, Paula Deming, the first night we were here. She was wonderful. It was great to finally get to meet her in person. Have run across a couple other people, but also Wormwood, the table company. I saw JV, who is their main media guy, out in the street one day and yelled at him. We spoke for a couple seconds. We encountered each other inside again, and he filmed me for a quick segment on their Worm Life channel, which led to a very interesting text message that I got from someone who used to work with me 11 years ago and still happened to have my number on hand. He was home watching the initial day 1 footage from Gen Con that Wormwood had posted, and my interview popped up on there, and he was really confused and said, I'm going to assume you're at Gen Con because I think I saw a guy that looked just like you talking to the people from Wormwood. Got to meet Matt from DeVere. He is actually providing some information for us that we are going to talk about on an upcoming episode featuring all the DeVere games. So that was really nice to see. We did get to meet with people from Keymaster Games, who we found out are actually located somewhere near us in Tennessee. So hopefully we're going to have a little closer partnership with them. Also got to chat with Mr. Audubon, who is the designer of Parks, and got to see their new Parks Europe, which is coming out. So many industry people here. It was a pleasure to interact with each and every one of them. James, anything to add to that?
You're such a fanboy, JK.
Communication with friends at Gen Con can be tricky, and especially for our group. We didn't plan any of our group hangs, and we all had our own to-do lists of things we wanted to do, so that didn't always overlap. After hanging out at Lucas Oil, my partner and I decided we were ready to head back to the Airbnb and maybe get a nap in or just some quiet time. Dwayne had left earlier to check out StarCraft in the demo hall, and to be honest, I can't remember where the others ended up. But as we started walking towards a bus stop, I got a call from Dwayne. Turns out Dwayne and Ryan are ready to go back as well. As we're waiting for a ride share, we find out JK and friend of the show Travis are ready to go back to the Airbnb as well. Very quickly, our quiet time turned into almost everyone arriving at the Airbnb to relax. After a few minutes of just collecting our thoughts, eating some snacks, catching up, resting our feet, we decided to head to a local bar so we could spread out into multiple tables and play games. Here's how Dwayne described it.
It might be too early to call this, but I think this might be the best Gen Con ever. We are currently trapped in a movie theater with an awesome bar where we have brought 2 days worth of board games. We are having the best time.
What Dwayne forgot to mention is that we were trapped because of the weather. We had been able to walk from our Airbnb to the theater, but after maybe an hour, it started pouring rain. Our street was pretty flooded. We could see just waves of rain every time a car drove by. Everyone's phone went off with a tornado warning alert. We started seeing posts on Facebook that the exhibit halls, where a lot of the demos happened throughout the weekend, were leaking. It looked like it was raining inside. And then for Lucas Oil, a pipe had burst. We were lucky at the theater that we could just stay put and ride it out, but a shelter in place had been put in effect over at the convention center. Thankfully, no one was hurt, and the con was able to continue. James, JK, and friend of the show Ryan even made it to their Saturday night event at Man vs. Meeple.
Yeah, so the Man vs. Meeple event at Gen Con is always a good time. This is my 3rd year in a row going, and it's a special event they put on for both their Discord members, but then also just for a lot of their friends in the industry. You know, Man vs. Meeple is a YouTube channel that does, board game content, and it's ran by David with Ryan, and Jeremy is on the team as well, covering everything solo, among lots of other features. But David actually works with Asmodee. Previously, he was with Simon, recently moved over to the Asmodee, and Ryan now works with a company called Gamehead, who actually had a booth at Gen Con. So he was out there repping Gamehead. So they're not just content creators, but they also work in the industry. So because of that, they also get a lot of great friends that come by this event. So we had John D. Clare, designer of Space Base, Mystic Vale, Ready, Set, Bet, lots of games. The Board and Dice team is almost always there every year. Alex and Meg from Board Game Co. YouTube channel, and Alex also works for GameFound. The designer of Fliptoons was there playing Fliptoons, and actually took Fliptoons Season 1 and Season 2 and combined it together to play an 8-player game. And if you haven't played Fliptoons, by the way, it's great. Really glad I picked it up personally. And there's just a bunch of other people. There's always just interesting special guests. I think even one of the directors from Thunderworks Games may have been there. Just lots of great stuff. And also because of that, they get a lot of support with raffle giveaways. Every year at the Man vs. Meeple event, they do big game giveaways. And this year was no different. Huge stacks of games, like full all-in pledges for some really big games were being given out with just a raffle. Whenever you walk in, you get a ticket. And I was really hoping I was one number away from getting the all-in pledge for Galactic Cruise. I was so excited as they called out the numbers, and the last number didn't match up, and it just so deflated. But they make it a really good time. It's pizza, and there's a bar there. And this year it was me, JK, Ryan, and Adam all went, and we sat down at a table with 4 other awesome people. 2 that I actually met last year at the event, who then have since came to the 2 subsequent Tennessee Game Days since last Gen Con. They didn't know about Tennessee Game Days, and so I told them about it, the last year's Gen Con Man vs. Meeple event, and they've driven to both of them, which is awesome. So made some new friends. Sadly, they're moving away, actually, so they're not going to be able to drive there anymore. But also shout out to them because they gave me a ride back to the hotel at the end of the night, which was really nice. So I didn't have to walk the 25 minutes or so back to my hotel room. And then the other couple at the table were great as well. Hopefully get to see them next year also. So you're always meeting new people, playing some fun party games. I mean, we're not busting out Brass Birmingham at the Man vs. Meeple event, but still playing some fun games, many times with the designers themselves. So it's a great time. We played the Gang Deluxe with 8 people, which was a lot of fun. I picked up the Gang Deluxe at Gen Con, so it was fun to break it out. And playing past the normal 6-player count added some new wrinkles, and they introduced some new rules to help mitigate that. So it was fun to kind of get that out to the table, play with some of the new deluxe components and stuff. So that was a blast. And Last year, Ryan and I got to play a pre-release copy of Excalibur, which has actually been hitting the table at our Meeple events a lot lately now that it's out. No pre-release gaming this time, but always a fun time to be had. Something that I will always make room for every Saturday night at Gen Con. David, Ryan, and Jeremy put on a great event. Just a fun time of gaming. One of these years, I'll make it to the end of the night and help break down, but it goes till midnight. And y'all, I'm old. I get tired. I can't make it anymore. But one of these years, I'm going to do it. But it was great to get to share that event with everybody this year and get to go one more time. So if you come out with us in the future, highly recommend making time for it, coming out with us. Maybe we can actually get to where we have our own Gleeful Meeple table and just take it over. That'd be awesome. But yeah, it was a great time.
Sunday morning came, and myself and the other host got to catch up before our last seminar.
As we were walking in, swung by the Avalon Hill booth where they still had Guillotine on sale until I asked whether it was still in stock. She's like, it just ran out.
Oh. That's what, like, we were standing by Hall C, just like waiting for the doors to open, and then someone walks by and like murmured something about like the door's not really opening until 10:30. So I was like, okay, let's get to Crown Plaza. We can't be late. And then like that's when we saw it. I was like, man, if we hadn't been waiting on the doors, we could have just been standing in line for Guillotine.
Drillers 2.0.
I was able to get Juno a Hobbit starter deck that they were giving out for getting in line early enough. On my way out of Hellbreaker, I was like, I'm gonna miss that. And I saw the stack of cards and how short the line was. Got a free copy of Monopoly Deal from Hasbro, why not?
Did they pay you to take it?
Well, but maybe I'll pay someone. Maybe somebody else will pay me to take it off my hands. I flipped out when Ryan showed me what he got for me. Oh my god! Because I saw that released a few weeks ago, and I was like, G.I. Joe Heroescape, that's great. $50. I'm not gonna add because I have more Heroescape than I know what to do with. But I really like the Joker. And when I walked in, my first thought was because Ryan was like, "Hey, we got you something." I was like, "Cool," and then we went back to
just keep talking.
Oh, okay, I see. And we were finishing up a game, so I had kind of forgotten about it by the time we got back to the Airbnb. And when I walked in, there's this stack of Heroescape, and I'm like, who's gotten into Heroescape? And Ryan's like, that's yours. I was like, what?
So the funny part was, as they were going through all of the different things that they had for the raffle, some of them were brand new games straight from like the industry partners that were there that they're close with. Like their grand prize was like a package deal from Board and Dice. But then intermixed with all that was stuff that they had either kickstarted or they'd acquired somewhere along the line. It's been sitting in their studio and they've never played it, so here's this big stack of stuff that we don't want to mess with anymore. And Ryan and I were both like, we're sitting there watching all the raffle items like, oh, I would want that. Oh, no, I don't want that. Oh, I hope I don't win this. Ooh, I'd really like to win this. And that one came up, and both Ryan and I were like, nope, don't want that. Don't even want to explore that universe. That's off my radar.
They had too many bones there.
Base game.
But just the base game, though, yeah. So
yeah.
Crazy.
But still, that's a good chunk of money saved. Like, I could justify spending money on Undertow if I got base game for free.
I don't even know what the base game goes for these days. It was expensive back before everything changed.
The second, next to last prize they gave out was a Masters of the Universe set from CMON, still in the cardboard boxes. Like the guy toted it out like 2 full boxes.
Oh yeah, that's the one I've been trying to sell for 3 years now.
Okay. So anyway, the Heroescape one comes up. The number gets picked. Somebody else wins it. And I was like, okay, dodged a bullet there. We didn't win. And then as it's all said and done, the guy starts going around the room and he's going table to table, going, "Does anybody play Heroescape? Does anybody want this? Does anybody want this?" And I'm sitting at the table and he comes to us and I'm just like, "No, thank you." And Ryan's like, "Yes."
Yeah, and we're like, you play Heroescape? I don't remember you playing Heroescape.
Oh man!
And then he said it's for his friend. Oh,
it was so good.
It was a classic Dwayne scream when it happened. I was just sitting at a table, just like collecting myself from the day, and I was like, "What is going on?"
I was like, Tomax, Zaymot, Baroness, all my favorites are here.
And the prize I would have been most excited, or that I was most excited for when it was called out, I ended up being one number away from it. I was like,
Which
was
one was
it?
that? Was that-
Galactic Cruise All In?
Yes.
That you'd go to the booth to pick it up. So I had to go this morning, but
They had a Food Chain Magnate Deluxe Edition, the new one,
I would
spread over
love
2
to
boxes.
see that.
It was huge.
Yeah.
There's a new food chain?
They reprinted, and it's a
it's
deluxe
pretty-
edition. It's massive.
Lucky Duck did it.
Okay, that's what I know Lucky
you
Duck
go.
games for.
They had a Teotihuacan, like deluxe all-in edition.
Tainted Grail.
Tainted Grail,
From the
USS
collection.
Vanguard.
Yeah, that was like 5 boxes.
Oh, remember the thing he said that that required the tabletop implementation?
Taboo?
Something like that.
Taboo, something like that.
Where we were standing waiting to get into the vendor hall today, somebody had that game and the thing they're playing in.
Tubaroo or...
Yeah, it's kind of like, I when he said that, I thought it was like that tabletop LED screen.
That's what I thought it was.
It's not. It's kind of like,
It's a board.
it's a board, but all of these little elements hook into it. Like you hook a phone to it, and that's your player screen. But there's like a main console that's running the board, but like the pieces light up and interact with the board.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
kinda
it
cool.
looked cool.
But like, if you buy the game, you get that whole setup.
yeah.
What does any idea what that runs? It sounds expensive.
That's gotta be expensive.
What was it called?
Call of
Bad
Call Me
Karma?
Karmas?
Yeah. Bad
Curse
Karmas?
of something Karma's Curse of Cthulhu.
Yeah, let me.
Oh, wait, that's
That tech is all...
I know. I was telling JK, I was like, the Cthulhu stuff always calls to me.
That kind of tech is always interesting because you have to make games specifically for it. So it takes a really long
Yeah.
time for a library of games to be available, which makes the product more enticing to purchase. So
how many? If you went to BGG right now, how many not a board game comments do you think there are?
That's an idea what it's like. I haven't gotten the price yet.
Bad Karmas.
Okay.
That's what it was. Bad Karmas.
yeah, when I saw the
Curse
boxes,
of Cthulhu.
I was like, that's not what I think it is. I don't think. So
Yeah,
I was thinking of
okay.
that LED screen too.
So you can hook in whatever your personal device is.
Yeah.
All in all, it was another successful year at Gen Con. This was my 4th year going, and I feel like I have a theme every year. Year 1 was just the year of experience, just getting my feet wet and getting to just soak in as much as I could. Year 2 was the year of the RPG. That was my first D&D one-shot ever, and I believe, if I remember correctly, that was the year I got introduced to Old Gods of Appalachia. I can't believe all of my RPG experience just started 3 years ago. Year 3 ended up being the year of hosting, where the podcast hosts, we all got to host a seminar for the first time. And year 4, I'm calling the year of expansion. Partly tongue-in-cheek, because my partner and I decided for purchases, we kind of mainly wanted to focus on buying expansions for games we already owned. But also because this is the biggest number of friends I've had in a single Airbnb. We ended up having 8 people in our Airbnb, and that wasn't even all of the people in our board game group that was able to make it out this year. It was so fun getting to catch up with everyone, and it was so fun even trying out some new events. So not only did I do board game events, I expanded this year into our craft events. Had a lovely little knitting session promoted by Flat Out Games, if I remember. Knitting Circle, a board game in the Calico universe, has a scarf, a chevron scarf you can make in the game. So that was the actual scarf we got to make in that knitting class. And so it's just moments like that that just made the con so special this year, so fun, and we loved sharing it with you guys. You'll hear more from us soon, but for now, see ya.
All right, Gleefuls. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. But wait, if you made it this far, what would an episode of the Gleeful Meeple podcast be without some kind of a game? So, to reward all you listeners that made it all the way through, here is a peanut by another name, the game. A peanut racer skips their next main move. You don't even peanut your die, though your powers can still peanut and you can still move in other ways. When you peanut, finish your move completely, then lay your peanut token face down. On your next main move, put your peanut back upright to indicate you've recovered. And remember, peanutting doesn't end your current move prematurely. What rule snippet is that from? What game does that rule belong to? A peanut racer skips their next main move. You don't even peanut your die, though your powers can still trigger and you can still move in other ways. When you peanut, finish your move completely, then lay your peanut token face down. On your next main move, put your peanut back upright to indicate you've recovered. And remember, peanutting doesn't end your current move prematurely. I'll give you a moment to think about it. Any guesses? This has been hitting the table a lot at our events recently. Here's the full rule snippet. A tripped racer skips their next main move. You don't even roll your die, though your powers can still trigger and you can still move in other ways. When you trip, finish your move completely, then lay your racer token face down. On your next main move, put your token back upright to indicate you've recovered. And remember, tripping doesn't end your move prematurely. This is from the newest edition of Magical Athlete. All right, everybody, thanks for listening. You can always find us on Instagram at Gleeful Meeple Pod. And if you have any thoughts about Gen Con, maybe you went and want to share some of your experiences, send them in. Email us at gleefulmeeplepod@gmail.com, and we'll share them on a future episode. See you next time.